Hi, folks. So I'm going to talk you through something that I don't think any of you will have seen before. Well, maybe some people might have seen before, because we've got some friends in the crowd. But generally, what I'm going to show you is a series of AI agents creating a new product. So this is a team of individual AI agents trained on specific data, trained on specific things, interacting together with the guidance of a marketer to create a new product from scratch, and they will be creating a new, unique, innovative product in under 5 minutes. And I'll explain how and why we can do that. So a little background on Zappi. We're a technology company, we're a data platform, but primarily what we do is we collect a lot of consumer insights. So we help large companies, big enterprises, test their products, test their packaging, test their advertising campaigns before they launch. So we help creators when they're creating new innovations. We help them by giving them rapid, iterative feedback so that they can make decisions on the fly about how to improve their ideas. And the way we do this is through surveys, and we're collecting insights about how people think about marketing ideas, packaging ideas, product ideas all the time. So we have this great data asset that we can use to build new ideas with. So what we have, I just clicked and it didn't move. Is that going to be all right? They're regenerating it. So what we have is a really interesting data asset. We have reactions from people all over the world to things like ads, things like packs. And we can train the AI models on these things on the fly. Sorry, they're rebooting it. So if you think about how clients currently extract information from an AI, what you're doing, this is not clients, this is anyone, think of it as a triangle. At the top, you have the UI itself. At the bottom, you have the large language model, effectively, typically large object models. And then in between, increasingly, you have data. So if you think about the bottom bit is effectively GPT. The top bit, the UI, is chat, as in ChatGPT. Increasingly, what companies are doing is putting data into the middle of that. So you may have seen the Microsoft pilot, where basically what they're saying is, I want to create a new proposal for a software installation at Hyundai. That asks the generative model to create a proposal, and it looks at all of the other proposals you've written in the past for similar types of car companies. So that's what it's doing. It's the AI model is looking at the data in order to create something new. Well, the great thing that we have found is in our data asset, our data platform, we have a lot of opinions about different products and services and packs, as I've said. Now, why is consumer insight data, this is not just Zappi data, this is consumer insight data, so rich, so attractive, is because it is rich. So it has a lot of verbal data, it has a lot of why data. So if you look at behavioral data assets, it may be able to tell you that this person is more likely to click on red than green. It may be able to say they like the Red Sox or they like Arsenal and not Spurs. However, they don't understand why. And understanding that why is what comes out of consumer insight. So when you are asking questions, we ask very open, rich data responses. And that data is incredibly powerful for informing large language models. They are language models, after all, the clues in the name. So if you support Arsenal, a standard Salesforce type structure would know you support Arsenal, would feed an Arsenal into an ad. But if we know that you like Arsenal because your grandfather took you there and it was the last memory you have going to your first big game, you've got something much richer on which to build an asset. So what we think we're moving into is a world where the creators within marketing, the people building new brand ideas, new positionings, all the bold stuff we were just hearing about, and what the guy described just now, is you come up with an idea, then you go off and test it. We're moving into a world where testing actually becomes an essential part of building a data asset that enables you to create. So I'm going to bring that to life. And I'm going to show you, this is effectively the marketing team we've built. So this is a marketing team of 10 individual agents. And each of those agents is trained on a different asset, trained on a different set of data. So there's a client guardrails agent, and that guardrails agent will be trained on the brand book for the agent, for the brand. It will have guardrails that the brand has written up. This is the way they like to create product concepts. This is what's important to them about advertising. Then there will be an agent, and you'll see this in action in a moment, that is looking at category insights, understands what consumers think about the category. Another that understands what consumers think about products in that category. Another that just understands consumers. All of these are trained, have an API into a data asset, so that they can immediately feed back to the system, to the facilitator in the middle, ideas and thoughts about how to create. There are others that we put in. What we realized when we were testing this with some of our clients is that you need a tone of voice agent. We originally started training, we now train the tone of voice agent on advertising campaigns that the clients already run, so that the tone of voice agent really understands who they are. The critical person in the mix, I say person, I mean AI agent, is the facilitator agent. The facilitator agent, think of the person who's running the workshop. So really what you have is an AI agent infrastructure, which is a virtual workshop of a marketing department, with only one person who is actually a genuine human being who will be interacting with them. So if you can play this video, click. No. Can you play the video? Okay, so what you're going to see is these agents working in real time. So you have the facilitator in the middle. The only person that's real is going to be in green. So that's going to be the client who is writing stuff up on there. So the first thing you do is, what are you going to do? I'm going to create a new product, in this case an alcoholic seltzer, and you create different agents. Each of those agents you give some instructions, and you can allow them to be more or less creative. The Gen AI is then saying, okay, I sort of know what I need to do. I've got the different agents in the room. They're all going to work together. And the client says, I want to create a new alcohol brand, new alcohol seltzer. The facilitator knows to ask them some more questions. So it says, what's the target audience? They say a Gen Z. So then it says, okay, great, I need to find out what Gen Z think about seltzer. Goes to the category insight agent. The category insight agent says, I know all of this stuff about how people feel about the alcohol seltzer category. And on that basis, we can go straight to the creative agent and say, can you create a new brand, a new product idea based on this initial feedback, based on just pure consumer insight? So the creative agent then goes off. It's been briefed. It knows what a good consumer concept looks like, and it creates immediately a brand new product concept. And it knows what to do. It has a top headline. It has features, benefits, and this is completely new, never been seen before. We then, the facilitator agent then says to the client agent, does this look reasonable? Does this look appropriate to you? The client agent says, oh, there's some interesting things about it, but it's not quite on brief. So the client agent is feeding back to the creative agent, says, can you please change some of these components to make it more on brief? And it immediately goes off. Creative agent then regenerates a new product concept from scratch based on the consumer insight that we had. And at which point the client agent says, yes, okay, I approve. So wonderful, we've got an approved product concept written by an AI, but we want to test it with consumers immediately. Well, the first thing we want to do, once we've read it and understand it, and we've programmed it so that all of the AI agents are explaining their thinking in the background. So we then send it to a consumer, a synthetic respondent, who says, yeah, really like it. They explain their reasons. They actually give it a 9 out of 10. We've had situations where the agent, consumer insight agent, the synthetic respondent has said 7 out of 10 or 6, in which case the facilitator just goes straight back to the basics and starts again. So having created it, we then have an approved product concept, but we want to bring it to life a bit. So the facilitator agent says to the visual design agent, can you generate an image of this new product concept? Lo and behold, it goes off and it creates an image. Straight from scratch, this is Mid-Journey actually, generating its alcoholic seltzer. Interestingly, for the first time, the real client in green comes along and says, I like it, but can you put it in point of sale? I want it in a point of sale environment. So the creative facilitator agent says, yeah, fine, goes back to the creative agent, puts it into a point of sale environment, and suddenly we have, in about 4 minutes, created an entirely new product concept from scratch. Now, we obviously are a very big testing outfit. We test a lot of products and services, so we can test this product and see how it differs compared to concepts created by human beings. And what we see is some do well and some do badly, right? I'm not going to say we're at perfection yet, but they're often pretty good. What we can also do in our system is we can test it and then get the AI to regenerate the concept based on the test results. So we can test things and then improve them automatically. What we found, interestingly, in the results is that we're getting some pretty unique and interesting ideas through. They're not generic at all. They're really quite unique and brave. The other thing is if you start thinking about the impact that this has, and we tested the first AI-generated advertising campaign for Toys R Us last week, tested very well. Start thinking about the way you'd innovate from now with this type of system in mind. We're getting to the point where you can, on day one of a workshop, you could create 50 products, all based on consumer insight, all then tested overnight, all then improved the next day, throw away 30, and on day 2 of your workshop, you've got 20 great ideas with consumer insight embedded in them before, in some sense, you start working with your insight, with your marketing team. So we honestly think it can do work for packaging, positioning, advertising campaigns. It can pretty much do any of the marketing approach. It has consumer insight embedded in it, and it is generating ideas right now. And with that, thank you very much.